Former BJP spokesperson Here's the biggest update right now on the Nupur Sharma case, as the Mumbai police has now summoned Nupur Sharma on the 22nd of June. The Mumbra police now investigating a probe, an FIR that's been slapped against Nupur Sharma for creating communal unrest and for giving out insightful statements. Here are several charges leveled against her in the FIR that has been filed against her in multiple districts. The Mumbra police now on 22nd of June has summoned Nupur Sharma to come and record her statement on the same. Remember, Nupur Sharma right now has also complained of receiving death threats from some terror groups. In fact, the Delhi police have already beefed up her security. They've upgraded her security at this point. She's been suspended from the BJP. At this point, she says that she's been receiving several death threats that's been issued to her. And since she feels vulnerable, the Delhi police now deciding to step up her security. At this point, the Mumbra police investigating the FIRs that have been registered against her. Now, the Mumbra police decides to summon her on the 22nd of June on the same. Multiple FIRs that's been filed against Nupur Sharma in Mumbra, in Thane and a few other areas. The Mumbra police now, acting on the FIR, has summoned Nupur Sharma on the 22nd of June. Nupur has not reacted to the same. She's yet to receive a summons. This will be in Mumbai while Nupur Sharma itself lives in Delhi. It's going to take a while for the summons to reach her, it appears, in hand. But in the meanwhile, Nupur Sharma, who's claimed threat to life, gets additional security by the Delhi police. Mustafa joining us live for more on that. Mustafa, give us an understanding on the multiple FIRs that have been filed against Nupur Sharma. What do these FIRs really say? What are the charges leveled against her? And at this point, Nupur is in Delhi. She'll have to move. She'll have to travel to Mumbai to be recording her statement. And this comes amid all the death threats that she has claimed to have received. The Delhi police has also stepped up her security. At this point, the Mumbai police now calling her to Mumbai to record her statement.
Yes, of course, Nabila, there was uproar after her comments, and multiple FIRs just in Maharashtra which have taken place. The Mumbra police which have summoned her, it comes under the Thane district, and the sections which have been applied in this particular case in which she has been summoned are of 153A, 153B, 295A, 298 and 505. 153A, 153B deals with the sedition. So these are serious charges and non-bailable charges which have been put up against her. It's likely that Nupur Sharma may move court to secure a pre-arrest bail before coming and giving her statement, recording her statement in front of the Mumbra police. And Pydhonie police and other police stations have also registered an FIR against her that remains to be a fact. So as you were saying, that security has been beefed up because there was an uproar in Mumbai. There is an organization called Raza Academy which had filed a complaint against Nupur Sharma. They had organized protest against Nupur Sharma, and after the Gulf nations came out in support and called upon and criticized BJP for the comments made by Nupur Sharma. The Raza Academy had said that they had taken up the issue first, and it has really hurt the sentiments of the Muslim community, and hence strict action should be taken against Nupur Sharma. That's what the community, the complainants in these cases are demanding. We'll have to wait and see what happens once Nupur Sharma comes on 22nd June to record her statement in front of Mumbra police station. What are the questions she has been asked and what action is taken against her? Back to you.
Right, stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to Syed Noori, Raza Academy, Waris Patan, AIM and spokesperson there joining us on the phone line. Give us your sense at this point as the Maharashtra police summoning Nupur Sharma at a time when she claims to have received death threats from terrorist organizations. She's also been given additional security by the Delhi police. She now will be forced to travel to Mumbai to give her statement on the FIRs filed against her.
Hello, is it question posed to me, madam?
Right. Yes, that question was to you. Please go on, sir.
Well, madam, first and foremost, let me make very clear that whatever the BJP's ex-spokesperson has stated about our Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, is highly condemnable, and no Muslim in the world, I'm talking about the world, would see that the Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, is insulted or such kind of words or derogatory statements are made against him. Secondly, since last 10-12 days, several FIRs have been registered against the BJP spokesperson, but no steps were taken to see that she's arrested. Only after the Middle East countries, like the Saudi Arabia, Qatar and everybody rose up, UN cry was made, the Modi government woke up and they suspended the BJP spokesperson. But still, we demand that mere suspension would not serve the purpose. She should be arrested immediately. Had she been arrested, we made so much, several times we requested the government, we raised the issues on every platform that she should be arrested, but it fall on deaf ears, nobody arrested her, and because of it, our country has to face so much flack all over the world. 15 countries of the world today have called the ambassadors and they have said that you should apologize for the act conduct committed by the BJP spokesperson. So where have we leading for the country? But more surprising to me is that in Maharashtra there were several FIRs registered against the said Nupur Sharma. But in Maharashtra there is a Mahavikas Aghadi government, Shiv Sena, Congress, NCP together. Why did this government not take steps to see that she is arrested? Why was the government waiting for the Middle East countries and others to see that no, after UN cry, blackmail happens, then only they will arrest her? Why no summons were issued to her earlier? Why? But they waiting. Modi government accepted. They are against the Muslims. We know that BJP is totally against. But what about the so-called secular government in Maharashtra? I am asking them, what stopped them from arresting her till now? Had this kind of statement made by Waris Pathan or somebody from, they would have immediately arrested her. A single tweet on Sharad Pawar, madam, by a Marathi film actress. She was arrested. She was sent to jail. Still, she is languishing. More than 2 weeks she is in jail without bail. If she could be arrested, what prevented the Mahavikas Aghadi government to see that Nupur was arrested early when the FIR was registered in Mumbra, in Pydhonie police station, everywhere? The Raza Academy has also registered FIR against it. But we say, reiterate time and again that no insult would be tolerated on our Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, by any person in the country or anywhere in the world. We condemn, but we want her to be arrested. Mere suspension would not serve any purpose.
No, but there's no questions. Why no questions being raised on similar lines? In Hyderabad also, we believe a complaint has been filed against Nupur Sharma. How come the Hyderabad government or the Telangana government there has not responded to that? Aren't you asking the same questions to them?
Yes, we have filed FIR. Our party police persons have gone there to the police station along with several people and they have lodged FIR against her. And I am hopeful that she will be arrested there as well. Now, first summons have been issued to her. Now, the second summons, the law will take its own course. But we want, again we reiterate that whosoever has insulted our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, should be punished, should be arrested, should be sent to jail, and let the law take its own course. But we want her to be punished. See, whatever other person who I've given an example also. Merely on a tweet on Sharad Pawar, that girl was sentenced to jail.
You know, Nupur Sharma's justification to that was there were a lot of slurs spoken against the shivling. There was so much mocking that happened over the shivling found in Gyanvapi, which you and your party members have often claimed it to be a fountain, etc. So as per her claim, she says that the Hindu community has been offended time and again, and it was just in the spur of the moment that she spoke words that could have been derogatory, and she withdraws it unconditionally.
Well, that were not the words spoken on the spur of the moment. That was deliberate statement made by her to insult our Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, and this is condemnable. We want justice to be done and she should be sent to jail. See, this matter is sub judice in the Honorable Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has directed the Varanasi Court to see to it whether there is a fawara or a shivling. That will be decided by the Honorable Court. We will wait for that.
When the matter is in court, you still have a lot of claims and counterclaims made, and she says that there was a lot of insult to the shivling, and therefore why no action taken against those people who spoken ill about Hindu culture, Hindu religion and Hindu religious symbols, while what I've said has been blown out of proportion. Even though I've apologized and I've withdrawn that statement, BJP also distances themselves from Nupur Sharma and the words she spoke. At this point, why no, why no action taken against those people who've commented on the shivling? That's the question she asks. If law should act, it should act with the same measure.
When did she apologize? You know, she apologized when the BJP sacked her, suspended her from the party. when there was hue and cry all over the world that this kind of lady, she has insulted our Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, and there was from every quarter of the world, even when the Vice President was flying, the Qatar ambassador was summoned at Qatar, and he was said that these kind of things should not happen, and we will not tolerate any insult on our Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him. After that backlash, she has taken back her word. This is an afterthought. Her intentions were very clear. Her intentions, a word spoken, had hurt the sentiments of billions of Muslims all over the world. By her words spoken and her attitude, she has insulted, she has hurt the sentiments of Muslims all over the world, and we demand that mere suspension won't work and she should be arrested. Wherever the FIRs are registered, let the law take its own course, and she should be arrested for the FIRs which have been registered against her.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us on that. I'm going to quickly cut across to Ratan Sharda, who's an RSS ideologue as well, joining us. Mr. Sharda, here is Nupur Sharma, who has received summons from the Mumbai police acting on the FIR that's been filed against her in multiple districts. She's got to come, appear, record her statement on the 22nd of June, and this comes amid all the threats that she's received from terror groups, with the Delhi police now stepping up her security. How would you receive that news?
See, first of all, I am just an RSS researcher. I am not an ideologue. So please correct that.
Go on,
Secondly, the AIMM guy talked about insult to Prophet Mohammed. I was in the debate. She just said what has been said umpteen times, their own ideologues, their own Maulvis, their own scholars, the fact of Prophet Muhammad's life. She did not any comment to that. She did not make any insulting remark. And the same people who are being trying to target her did not even once criticize the people, their own people and others who were mocking Hindu gods with the worst kind of sexual slurs and whatnot. And none of these people spoke. So this one-sided outrage, this one-sided victimhood doesn't fit well. And when she said it, I think the idea of, this creating an idea of saying that she said something wrong and because of party pressure she has said it. But point is, the idea was to go to court and court decide, because courts decide on this, but everybody goes to court. But here these people talk of Sarpan se juda. The threat received are nearly 70,000 in 2-3 days. Did anybody speak up for her? No. So this freedom of expression is limited to one group of people. Constitution is limited to one group of people who can insult, who can abuse people, and who can then, cry blue butter even if you quote their own history which they themselves quote. The entire social media is full of this news. It is full of those images which have been seen by all. Hindus didn't say Sarpan se juda, went to courts. That is point one. Point two is Shiv Sena MPA government Maharashtra is known very well from Palghar Sadhu's cold-blooded killing to so many other legal issues. This government is more busy arresting social media activists and critics of the government rather than doing any real law and order job. For them to jump into this is, very ridiculous, because something happened in Delhi, case is limited to Delhi, and already some cases are running. This overzealousness to run after some vote banks and create more complications is hallmark.
The case in Delhi is not limited to Delhi, sir. She's spoken on national television. So the outrage has happened all over. In fact, in Kanpur was where the communal riots broke out. FIRs have been registered across the country in multiple cities.
And tomorrow, if Hindus are as active, they would have put 100 FIRs against Mohammed Zubair and many others to instigate the entire game. Much worse than is said about Hindu gods and Hindu scriptures on the TV shows. I have been there for 8 years now. So let us be clear, either our sense of outrage has to be both ways, criticism has to be both ways. If the sense of offense has to be both ways, it cannot cut one way. What has happened is unfortunate. The issue has been blown out of proportion, and by these very people who want India to get defamed, because I have seen a Maulana claiming that these disturbances help us reduce foreign investment in India. So is this the goal? And
now, in that case, why is the BJP buckled? Do you believe the BJP is buckled under foreign pressure? Why did they not stand with Nupur Sharma if this was the case?
I cannot respond for BJP. I am responding as a person.
No, in your view, sir, in your view.
I won't express view on this, because right now the situation is such, it's better to calm down, sit down and reflect and let things calm down. I am not here to, create more fires and create more problems for Nupur Sharma or BJP. Enough problems which is instigated by these people have been after this kind of situation since 2014, and we have to take initiative to calm down the water.
Right. Appreciate your time. Ratan Chadha, thank you very much. BJP now suspending Nupur Sharma, the spokesperson, after she gave out statements which has been perceived as derogatory to the large population of the Muslim community across the globe. The Arab world now condemning these statements by Nupur Sharma, who was the national spokesperson of the BJP. The BJP, of course, distancing itself, saying that this was a comment made by a fringe element. Let me quickly cut across to Arvind Sawant, who's the Shiv Sena MP, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Sawant, Nupur Sharma has been summoned to Mumbai on the 22nd of June to record her statement. Delhi police has stepped up security for Nupur Sharma because she has received death threats from terror organizations. Amid this, she will have to travel to Mumbai at this point. Do you think this is a step taken in the right direction by your government in Maharashtra?
It's not my government or somebody. It is the complaint. See, you are making a derogatory statement. You are making a divisive statement. The entire Arabian world has taken a call. 57 countries have deplored it. And the worst part of it is that after that, BJP is taking cognizance of that. The statement made by Nupur is almost a week ago. And even then, the BJP's all leaders kept silent. And the moment when the Arabian countries took a cognizance, summoned our ambassador over there, cautioned him, and then the government has tried to deplore that and said that we have removed her from the post of the spokesperson of the party. Is it a way? Is it a way? Why the entire country, the day you have made a statement regarding the Kashmir file, I never ever expected it from the Honorable Prime Minister of India. What is that? We just watch Kashmir file. What is then? What to do after that? What you want? Do you want the unity should be maintained or not? The peace should be maintained or not? Why you are playing all these divisive politics? What is the reaction now? Kindly listen to my comments over there when I said that. Purani जख्मों को खरोच कर खून बहाना चाहते हो क्या? That is what is happening right now. And that is deplorable. And the legal action is definitely a welcome idea.
Right, Mr. Sawant, you had Nupur constantly justifying that she couldn't tolerate the kind of comments that were made against Shiva, against the Shivling. And after much of that rant, she spoke out of sheer anger. It was just in the spur of the moment. You have many people who mocked the Shivling, calling it a fountain, and said so many things about the Hindu culture and Hindu religion. They've not been brought to book with the same measure as she has.
When she's saying it, when she is saying it, in the entire Arabian country, have you ever thought of it? By making such statement, the Indians who are there in, are the Shivling is going to protect them in the Arabian countries? Those who are there in the all Arabian countries working over there, who is going to protect them now? You have to you have a right to opine on certain issues, but it doesn't mean it will create havoc in the country. It doesn't mean it will lead to a divisive politics. It doesn't mean it will disintegrate the unity of the country. You can't do that. You can't afford to do that, sir.
Right. You know, there was the same question that was asked by Varis Patan, saying that a tweet was put out against NCP leader Sharad Pawar, and that lady was, she was arrested over that tweet. She didn't get bail for 2 weeks. Why there is a delay in arresting Nupur Sharma? She, like you said, made that comment almost a week ago, and yet so far no arrest. So how would you react to that? Shiv Sena acting quicker when it comes to the NCP, but here Nupur Sharma has made a comment, and yet a week later she's still out.
No. We don't behave in a biased manner. We are always judicious about the issues. These are the people. We are giving opportunity to such people to take advantage of such things, They want to politicize the issue. The late, great father of India, Mahatma Gandhi said, spiritualize the politics. Please, for God's sake, let us try to spiritualize it. We are politicizing the spiritualism also. That is deplorable now.
Right. You know, at this point, very little that Nupur Sharma can justify because her comments have been perceived as defamatory and derogatory. She says, I withdraw it, and she's already admitted that she spoke out of sheer anger and just at the spur of the moment. It was just in response. So there's really little that she can do to take back that comment or say or deny that she even made that comment because it's on public domain. It's out there what she said. What would the Maharashtra police do furthermore? What would you anticipate? How would they take this case further?
I don't think that is a legal action. See, I cannot say about it right now. It's a legal action initiated by the police. Let them go for the action. Why we should hamper their action? What they cannot do anything which is illegal. Whatever the action will be taken lawfully. So we are judicious. We have never remained biased against anyone. Never ever. Unlike BJP governments. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Sawant, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Well, you have the Maharashtra police now all set to summon Nupur Sharma on the 22nd of June to record her statement. She's yet to respond to that. Will she adhere to the summons or not? That remains to be seen. Nupur Sharma claims that she is receiving death threats from terror groups. Her security has been stepped up now by the Delhi police. Now, meanwhile, BJP has suspended Nupur Sharma already. They've distanced themselves from Nupur Sharma after suspending her, saying that her comments were not the party's views. In fact, the Maharashtra police, days after this controversial remark on Prophet Mohammed, even summoned Nupur Sharma on the 22nd of June to record her statement. Cases have been registered against her in Mumbra, Pydhonie and Thane. Nupur has been summoned to record her statement in Mumbra case. Mohammed Gufran Khan, a teacher, is a complainant against Nupur Sharma. Meanwhile, in Delhi, the Delhi police has beefed up security amid threats that she's received. Nupur's security has increased after a terror group called Ghazwatul Hind issued a threat to the BJP government. The terror group has threatened to launch strikes if the axed spokesperson doesn't tender an apology to the entire world. The BJP on Sunday has suspended Nupur as the row over her remarks against Prophet Mohammed escalated with protests from several Muslim countries, Saudi in the latest adding to that list.
Nupur has said something which has been recorded in the TV cameras. No investigation would be required. She does not say that she did not say it. I don't see as at present any occasion to arrest her. Let the police make up a mind if a crime has been committed, and then the law will take its own course.
It's most unfortunate. The ruling party and its official spokesperson making such statements, I think it's something that needs a lot more than mere suspension. To just say that they were fringe elements and now we've course corrected is not sufficient. It has led to a great disregard for our diplomats overseas. They are being called up and there is a boycott of Indian goods in some countries. I think it's not good, just not economically, but also political standing, India's image globally, I think should not be allowed to suffer. And people who have been responsible for this, I think more action needs to be taken, legal action should be taken, and the ruling party can't wash its hands away by saying we've now suspended them.
नुपुर शर्मा जैसे नवीन जिंदल जैसे गंदी बातें कर रहा है, तुरंत अगर उसके खिलाफ बीजेपी एक्शन लेते तो शायद ये बाहर मुल्क इंटरफेयर करने का मौका ना मिलते। ये हमें शर्मिंदे होती इंडिया जैसे एक कंट्री और दूसरा मुल्क हम पे दबाव डाले, फिर जाके हम कोई एक्शन ले। दबाव डालने से पहले सरकार आंखें बंद करके हुई थी।
All right, let me cut across to Vishnu Jain, who is a petitioner on the Gyanvapi case. Vishnu Jain, thank you for speaking to us. Here is Nupur Sharma, who spoke in the spur of the moment. She claims that she was only defending all those comments that were coming against the Shivling, mocking the Shivling, etc. And that's why she said what she said in the heat of the moment. At this point, the police has summoned her, multiple FIRs filed against her. She's got to adhere to that summons. How would you look at this case panning out?
I think it's more of a political vendetta rather than the legal process being followed. Because the point in issue is that if there are multiple FIRs in the country, then Nupur Sharma has a right to get all the FIRs clubbed together and be tried at one particular place. But before waiting for the process of law, before waiting for her to respond and reply, immediate legal actions are tried to be taken. And the question is that whether the FIR itself is maintainable within the purview of Section 53A of the IPC. Because if it's a hate speech, first it has to be decided, first it has to be ascertained that whether this speech comes within the purview of hate speech or not, whether this is something which has been against the record or not. And until unless that has been adjudicated or decided, this kind of political vendetta and notice and summons being issued by various governments having different political agendas, I think it's a murder of rule of law. Everyone who is living in this country, which is governed by democracy and rule of law, must be given a fair chance to have his word, have a fair trial, and therefore Nupur Sharma has all the right to first decide that whether all the club cases which are filed in Telangana, Hyderabad, Mumbai, all have to be clubbed together. And before all this clubbing, immediate summons have been issued by a particular set of individuals.
All right, Mr. Jain, thank you very much for joining us on those details. Here is Nupur Sharma, who's been summoned by the Mumbai police. Now, she's going to be attending if she adheres to the summons, and she'll have to attend it on the 22nd of June, where she should be ideally recording her statement. But it remains to be seen how she responds to the summons issued by the Mumbai police. On that note, I'm going to slip into a short break. On the other side, our entertainment special in the club, India Today, in conversation with actor Tabu on her latest role in Bhool Bhulaiya 2. Have a look.
Everyone's busy finding what's trending.